Major rebound here for Bitcoin. Talked about this yesterday, where I said Bitcoin could have bottomed based on the chart and bounce we had yesterday because we're seeing basically higher lows and higher highs since the breakdown of that bear flag we've talked about last week. I will be sharing with you guys my daily thoughts here. So make sure you guys are subscribed, like this channel, like this video. I will be showing you guys my technical analysis, my pure technical analysis. I don't really pay attention to the news out there, but that's just me. I like just paying attention to the charts. I think everything happens on the charts, and everything that happens on the chart is final, right? So if that's what you guys want to hear, updates on the charts, technical analysis on crypto, Bitcoin, quite a bit of the other altcoins, do make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe. I will be here almost daily, okay? Now, let's see what's going on with Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin has hit about 85,000 today, since we have went down to as far as about 81-ish. Now we're getting some major tests here for Bitcoin, okay? Could this be the bounce that takes Bitcoin back to, first of all, the main, the major test up here is going to be, I'm loading the weekly chart here. Kind of slow today, TradingView. Well, okay, so it's a little like TradingView wants to load my moving averages here right now for the weekly time frame. But, okay, here it is. Weekly 21 SMA, which is what I'm looking at, is 94,000. I'm looking at that moving average because I usually see retests back to what it broke down as support. So it was support. Price action broke down below it. And we have stayed below it for quite a few weeks, right? But we have yet to retest back to that moving average. That is now resistance. Throughout my years of trading, my couple years of trading, I don't usually see price action break down a support and don't go back up to retest it. That's what I usually see, okay? I'm not saying it's absolutely going to retest it, but I usually do see price action go back up and at least retest that level, okay? So that's a very important level, right? I still think, we have a very good chance of going back to retest 94,000 before seeing what happens next. Now, we do have quite a bit of major, not major, but moving averages between that as well, right? It's gonna be pretty major. Okay, it's gonna be the daily 200 SMA, which is very important, right? That is basically the divide between if the price action is in a bull market or a bear market. So daily 200 SMA, we have been consolidating in that range for quite some time since the breakdown here of about earlier this month, right? I mean earlier last month. Last month, no, it's now April, okay? Since March 9th, we have broken below that and we have been just dancing around it for a little while. So that's very important to actually for the bulls to reclaim this level and actually look short-term bullish, right? Now, we do have the daily 200 SMA is about 86,000, daily 50 SMA about 88,000, okay? Those are going to be some important tests that I'm looking for Bitcoin to actually break and go back up to 94,000, okay? So that is the short-term upside of this chart, what this chart is looking like for Bitcoin. Of course, this will affect almost all other altcoins because, basically the crypto market revolves around Bitcoin, right? Now, I did mention that we are also looking at the hourly time frame as well because of the breakdown of that bear flag I talked about last week, and that gave us a fresh trend, at least on the very short term, to look at, which in this case would be the hourly time frame. I'm looking at this because we are testing the hourly 200 SMA here. I'm sure we have quite a bit of smaller term, shorter term moving averages as well. 4 hour, 6 hour, 12 hour. Okay, so if you guys are trading on those time frames as well, I'm sure you guys are paying attention to those time frames, right? So we are still setting higher highs and higher lows here, and we have a higher high here retesting the hourly 200 SMA, right? Like I said, I did say that it's very important for the bulls to reclaim 85,000 here, starting from the hourly time frame, right? Starting from the hourly time frame, getting hourly candle closes above this 85,000 range, very important. That tells me that the bulls are actually successfully able to reclaim the support that it lost when it broke down from that bear flag. Okay, so that is what I'm looking at, how I'm playing this. Okay, well, I mentioned that I had a small leverage position that opened for Jasmine, right? Somewhere like right here, about 2 days ago. I took a small profit from that, and that was a little bit of a change that I was able to profit and take away from. I am looking for an entry for a leverage position. Now that's just me. If you guys don't know what you're doing, don't follow what I'm doing, right? I will actually never follow. I will actually not follow someone on the internet blindly. Okay. These are just my opinions. Okay, my speculations. I have taken losses. I have. It can go wrong, right? The trades could go wrong, and if you don't know what you're doing, then you're basically stuck, and it's not going to be looking good. But that is what I'm looking to do. I'm looking for a higher low to re-enter into a leverage position, a small leverage position, of course. I do have quite a bit of longs and altcoins that are still in losses, but I am still bullish. I am still feeling bullish about this market throughout the end of this year. Now, my opinion could change depending on what the chart could give me, but that's what I am. That's what my sentiment is, right? We could dive a little bit more into that later, right? Or on the next video, but I am still feeling bullish until the end of this year, right? And yeah, so I'm looking for a higher low to re-enter into a bigger altcoin position, a higher market cap altcoin position, because if I would be taking losses, I could, I would at least have the margin to cover it, because I don't think the bigger altcoins are going to be going down as much as the smaller altcoins. As I have seen, they have gone down like, they have been able to go down like 50, 70%, okay, in a week's time, okay. So, in my opinion, the bigger altcoins are what I'm looking for as my next move, right? You guys let me know what your next move is. What are you guys holding down in the description below? Now, let's take a look into the stock market as well, because highly correlated markets, right? Between the stock market, the S&P 500, and Bitcoin. Very similar charts on the weekly time frame. Okay, what I am seeing here on the weekly time frame for the stock market, S&P 500 futures, is that we do have a reversal indicator here on the RSI, which is a bullish divergence, where we have a lower low on the weekly time frame, but a equal or higher low. In this case, it would be an equal low on the RSI. So that's pretty major. This is a reversal signal. Let's see how far this bounce goes. Now, how I interpret bullish divergence is it usually gives you a bounce, but the question is, how far would the bounce go, right? So that is the question that is yet to be answered, but we are seeing a bounce here, right? So, pretty important to be looking at the hourly time frame as well, because that gives me some short-term clues on what could be happening. Okay, as long as I'm still seeing higher highs and higher lows on shorter time frames, that is still looking good, right? Of course, I'm not just paying attention to the hourly time frame, but even on the slightly longer time frames, like 4 hour, 6 hour, and interpret, if we're seeing those bullish patterns on those time frames as well. So this is basically what I'm looking at now. If you guys got some value out of this video and you guys want to see more updates from me, make sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.